Good afternoon. My name is Rihanna Minna. I'm from Highland Essential Oils, and me and my husband started with essential oils in 1991. We are doing different essential oils from khaki bush, as we know it in South Africa, or the jet oil, to this beautiful rose that we are making also oils of. We are not only producers of essential oils, but we also make further value-added things from our roses and from our other oils that we have. Some people asked me in the past, what can you do with essential oils? And because I didn't know myself, I started to study up different kinds of oils, the history of oils, and therefore I also started with this little shop that we have here. And I also give tours that I'm telling the people more about essential oils, the history of it, the uses of it, the positivity of the essential oils. If you take for instance your rose, you need about 3.5 million roses that has to be handpicked for 6 weeks of the year, every morning before the sun rises actually. And that gives you about 1 kilogram of rose oil. That is why rose oil are so extremely expensive. But rose oil has the highest frequency of all material. It has 320 megahertz, and therefore it has also one of the highest healing properties is in rose oil. If you look here, we are from the rose. We make the oil. Here's a little bit of oil because it's so expensive. I only have a little bit here. That is the rose oil, but we also do with the extraction process. That is with a hexane that we use. It's a solvent. We can make from the flowers, we can take, and that's totally, if you see, it's totally a wax form. We can make a concrete, as they call it in the business, but also from the green leaves, we can make an extract. And surprisingly, the green leaves also smell like roses. From the rose, we make an essential oil. And the essential oil is at room temperature. It is actually in a frozen state. It forms a gel. When you heat it up just with your hand, above 36 degrees Celsius, it will start to be liquid again. Then also from the rose flowers, we make a concrete. A concrete is where you put the flowers in a hexane, and the hexane takes out the flowers, the essence, and then afterwards the hexane is then distilled off, and you get a wax. From the wax, they then make an absolute. Then also from the rose leaf, the green leaves, we can also make an concrete. And surprisingly, the leaves also has a rose smell. So we sell rose oil in small bottles, sometimes only a milliliter because it's so extremely expensive. But also from the rose water, we sell rose hydrosol that has very good facial properties. If you want to know more about the effectiveness of the roses, you can also call me or send me an email. Then we make also different body and bath products, spritzers, body lotion, shower gel, and we also dry the roses and mix it with Himalayan salt, and then also with the pepper, we mix it also with red pepper, pink pepper. So yeah, from your different products, you can add value by making something else and put that also on the shelves. We only sell here in our shop, but we also send products via Postnet or via the courier guys. So you can contact me anytime regarding that. Yes, some of the flowers you can see, we make the oil from, we've got 3 different types of roses. In the world, there's only 5 roses that are used in the essential oils. We have 3 of them. We have the Gallica, then we have Damascene, that is the main one, and we also have Centifolia. All 3 of them are pink roses. Then there's also a rose alba, a white rose that we don't have, that you can also make an oil of. And that's more or less about the roses. I can also show you other products and other plant materials that we use to make oils of. The history of essential oils is very, very old. The oldest essential oils they found was in the tomb of King Menes from Egypt, and he lived about 3,500 years before Christ. They could even, in those 8 clay flasks, they could even analyze and smell what type of oils was used. So essential oils is not a new thing. It was used during the old times, ancient times, actually as medicine. And the knowledge of these oils was lost with the fire that was in Alexandria, and most of the papyrus rolls, etc., was burnt. And most of that recipes actually was destroyed with that fire that was in that library in Alexandria. And then during the Dark Ages, most of it was also lost. It was only a few monasteries that actually kept some secrets of the oil and its uses. And it was actually only later on, during the 1500s, it was mostly used as perfumes in France, and that started actually with the people that was wearing these high wigs, and they were sweating under these terrible wigs they were wearing. Some of the wigs was up to a meter long, high. And then the women started to put some nice smelling oils on their heads. And with this heat, the smell and the aroma of the essential oils came off. And that is why France actually is up to today the leaders in perfumery, with Grasse as known as the perfume capital of the world. So through the ages then, it was more used, or later ages, it was more used as perfume. And it was only actually here in the beginning of 1907 that the new introduction of oils as medicine started. And today we are getting a move back actually of using essential oils as medicine. But that is also very dangerous, because essential oils are very, very potent. The average is about a ton of plant material that gives you a liter of oil or a kilogram of oil. So you can't use essential oils neat on your skin. You have to dilute it in a carrier oil. There are a few, about 5 or 6 essential oils that can be used neat, like your lavender can be used neat, chamomile is a very safe oil that can be used neat, rose can be used neat, and maybe tea tree to a certain extent, but not for all people. So yeah, one must be very careful not to use it actually also internally. I know some people do use it internally, but please be aware that essential oils are very, very potent. So yeah, here we on our farm we do rose oil, as I've told you, but we also do the jet oil. Now the jet was introduced into South Africa during the beginning of 1900. We also farm actually with the jet oil. The jet is what we know in South Africa as kakibush. Now, kakibush came into South Africa during the 1899 to 902 war between the Boer people and the British people. And the British brought some fodder for their horses in from Argentina. In that fodder, there was the jet seed. And the jet spread throughout South Africa and then further up in Africa as a terrible wheat. But from this wheat, we make an essential oil. And that essential oil is more used in the perfumery industry. It's about 95% of the jet are being used in the perfumery industry as a fixative for the other oils. And if any one of you can remember 4711 eau de cologne that our grandparents used to wear, if you smell kakibush on some clothes that has been washed, you can still smell 4711. Then kakibush is also used as an insect repellent, doesn't kill the insects, but it repels the insects. So it's safe to use in the house, on your garden outside. It's also used in the food industry as a flavoring. For instance, a flavoring for fruit flavors, they use it for. And then it can also be used in the medicinal industry. It is also very good. It's also used in the medicinal area. It's a very good respiratory ailment help. And during the time that we are actually working with the jet, the kakibush, no one gets ill. Some other oils that we are also doing yarrow oil. That is a dark blue oil from a white flower. An inky blue oil, and it's the azulene in that oil that people are looking after. It's a very calming oil, and it has quite the same properties as chamomile. Chamomile oil that we are also making can be used actually on small babies and also in the bath of small babies to make them very calm. It can be actually used on with teething problems for babies. Then we are also making geranium, not here on our farm, but on the farm that we have in Zambia, because it's a warmer climate product. In the Free State, the frost is too hard for that. So geranium is a very balancing oil. It balances the high blood and low blood pressure. It balances the hormone system. It balances oily skin and a dry skin back to normal. It can actually be used when you have jet lag, to put one drop on your solar plexus and then it refreshes you. It's also very good for people that is, for breastfeeding women. It's also very good for women that are breastfeeding and has a mastitis to help with the flow of the milk. So there are very good healing properties in most of these oils. But as I've said, you must be very careful on how to use them. Okay, nou wat nog? Ek gaan praat oor die langana en die willeals. Ja, jy gaan okay. Then we are also doing some indigenous oils. For instance, Artemisia afra. Artemisia afra is family of the Artemisia annua that they are actually using for malaria these days, and is a very good cure for malaria. Artemisia afra was used in the past for flus. So it's a very good antiviral medicine. And even now with this COVID, you can put 1 drop of Artemisia afra on your mask to help to prevent from getting sicker and help to prevent the virus, help to prevent to kill the virus. Then the helichrysum. Helichrysum oil is actually the oil with the second highest frequency, and also an oil with very good healing properties. I, for instance, burned my hands with oil that took fire on the stove, and I've got 2nd to 3rd degree burns, about 60% of both of my hands. And with helichrysum, there is not a mark on my hands. Some of the insect bites, like your spider bite, if you treat it with helichrysum oil diluted in a carrier oil, it helps so quickly to heal that wound of this violent spiders. Then, if you look at your oils of the Bible, oils of the Bible has been used throughout the Bible and with so much healing properties. We today don't know of all the healing properties of these different oils. If you take, for instance, your frankincense oil, that has been given to Jesus at his birth, frankincense are now being used in some of the hospitals in England to treat cancer persons. And then myrrh is a very good, for instance, a very good oil to help with healing properties of scars. So all of those oils that was used actually in the time of the Bible was not only sold as for the money of it, but it was a healing, it was their medicine. We are also making some different mixtures with this essential oils. Like we are making a migraine mixture that helps quite a lot, that we are mixing different essential oils in a carrier oil for different purposes. A calming oil, an easy sleep oil, a flu away oil. So we have different mixtures that we are also making. And they for one can add value to the normal, just plain essential oils that we are getting.